Welcome to Deep Thought. Feed your mind with empowering info. Feed your mind with empowering info. That's my little word to trip over. Look, here's the thing. Your mind it takes in food. But that food is energy, thoughts, emotions, information. And maybe I'll do a video at another time talking about the emotions and everything. But let's talk about info. Now, I always do these deep thought videos in front of my bookcase. And this is, what I have on here now is actually small compared to every single book I've read in life. Every single book. There are a lot of books. If I had every single book I've read, I would need a whole floor with bookcases all the way around, and a few tables to put the books in the middle and everything, and it still would be junky. But what did I do with all of that information? I was eating it. I was eating it. Just like your stomach needs, proteins, carbohydrates, whatever. For some of y'all, be using some alcohol, some other stuff, but we won't go there today. But your mind needs to eat as well. You need to be fed info. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to get into the programming and stuff in the next one, because unfortunately people get a lot of info that programs them. But you want to have empowering info, which means it's going to make your life better. What are you reading? Because like in the book industry, you got fiction books, you have nonfiction books. A lot of the fiction books are actually what I call bubblegum fiction. It doesn't really do anything, entertainment at best. Me, even when I've written fiction, it was always edutainment, education, but entertainment. And that's how books should be. That's my view. That's my view. But of course, I'm famous for my nonfiction books on, masculine development. And I have one for the ladies too. But when you feed yourself with that information, it empowers you. Remember, everything is ultimately thought. Everything follows thought. So that info is giving you things to think about. It's helping you to form ideas and opinions, preferences. But it empowers you to actually move through life. As the saying is, the general saying is knowledge is power. But really knowledge is applied power. Some people get knowledge, they don't use it. But if you have that knowledge, you can take care of stuff. Like when you have knowledge in certain situations. Like say you have general knowledge of if you're in a retail store. If you're in a retail store and let's just say some workers there are not treating you according to how you think you should be treated, but you have knowledge of what to do about it. And you could say to them, hey, I can call you a corporate or something. That knowledge empowers you, or you need to know how to do a particular thing, like work on you need to develop a skill. Reading about it helps. Just reading about it, getting the information, you feed it in. And indeed, in the age of social media, you can empower your mind. You can feed your mind with social media too. Even though there are some negative aspects of social media, you do have access to a lot of things. Knowledge that you might not have had before. And really with the search engines, all you have to do is put something in. You can find, okay, somebody did a video talking about this subject. Use that to feed you. Use that to feed you. Use that to give you knowledge that you can apply to a certain situation. There's often I will find out information, either read about it or see a video on it, see something on it. Heck, it's even feeding your mind when you observe something. But I was like, oh, okay, let me hold on to this. And then there's been things I've held on to for years, and all of a sudden something pops up and it's like, oh, this is what I need. Okay, now I know what to do in it. Then I apply that knowledge to get something that I want. I'm using that to be applied power. But it's very important what you feed your mind with. You have to be very discerning. Just like there are certain foods you really shouldn't eat, there's certain knowledge you really shouldn't really get. Or at the very least, I would say this, all knowledge is important. Send a critical thought with it. Don't just accept it. In fact, that's actually better that you question everything you read. Because, for example, when I read stuff and it say, oh, I hadn't heard this before. Let me check the footnotes, or let me check the end notes. There's been plenty of books. Seriously, whenever I read a nonfiction book, I pay close attention to the end notes. I pay close attention to the references, because then I can explore it further. And indeed, sometimes if, say I read something and a certain idea is presented, what I do, I'll find a counter argument. And then I can come to a good conclusion because I'm seeing both sides of it. But it's still good knowledge. It's still good knowledge. You know, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a racial example. I've read a lot of material that would be considered conservative or even more extreme white nationalists. You know, I read a lot, but then I've read the other side. And then it's like, oh, okay, that side says this. This side says this. Okay, is there a third opinion? Boom. And then I can come to a conclusion, but also have knowledge of, if I run into anyone who has a certain ideas about something, I at least have a general reference to how to engage with them. And indeed, if I have knowledge of something, even in situations where it might be adversarial, I have knowledge. As Sun Tzu said, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. And then, of course, just real quick, just knowing yourself is very important. Another video. But you need to feed your mind with ideas that help you. Ideas that can help you have better relationships. Ideas that can help you live a better life, make more money. Ideas that can keep you out of trouble. Ideas that can keep you healthy. You need to do stuff like that. And that idea, like, entertainment has its place, but sometimes people feed themselves with stuff that doesn't empower them. Ideas that make them angry at the world. Ideas, false beliefs. It actually adds to their false beliefs. You want to feed your mind with stuff that makes any ideas that make it better for you, make things easier for you, you know? You want to do that. You want to do that. So that's very important. Very important. All right? And you always want to do that. And I'm going to tell you what, the best education is to get it on your own, not to have somebody just give it to you. That's why with whatever I teach, regardless whether it's someone here, my business channel, my relationship channel, I say go find out for yourself. Very important. So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.